Welcome. In this playthrough of Marvel Champions the card game, we have Hulk teaming up with Doctor Strange to take on Green Goblin and the Mutagen formula. Down at the table for setting up our main scheme, we're using Goblin 1 and 2 with the Mutagen formula, standard and counter sets, and the Goblin gimmicks. We've already put a Thrall minion in play with each player, so we'll go ahead and shuffle the counter deck here in a second. For the scheme, first one, we've got a threshold of 7 per player, so 14 on here. When completed in player order, each player not engaged with a Goblin minion must discard 3 cards from the counter deck and put the first Goblin minion they discarded this way into play engaged with them. This starts with 2 threat per player. So we've got 4 out here. Then for Green Goblin, he's got a scheme of 1, attack of 2, and a forced response. After Green Goblin attacks and damages you, place 1 threat on the main scheme. So that's going to be one of my big things to have to remember here. And each of the Thralls, scheme of 1, attack of 1, health of 3, and the guard ability. Then for Bruce, he's got a recovery of 4, experimental research as an action, draw a card, choose and discard 1 card from your hand, limit once per round. And then he's got a hand size of 5 and starts with 18 health. Hero form, 0 thwart, 3 attack, 3 defense. He's enraged with a forced interrupt. When your turn ends, discard your hand and a hand size of 4. And then I chose these 2 just to show the contrast in playing styles. The Hulk is he's meant to attack. Stephen Strange, he's meant to draw cards and have options. So recovery of 3 begins the game with the invocation deck, which we'll shuffle in a second. Natural talent, as an action, discard the top card of the invocation deck once per phase, and hand size of 6, hit points of 10. He's got a thwart of 2, attack of 1, defense of 2. Spell mastery as an action, exhaust him and pay the cost of the top card of the invocation deck and resolve that special ability. So go ahead and give him a quick shuffle and then shuffle the invocation deck and see what spell is going to be starting for that. So very quickly here. And we're starting with the Crimson Band. So stun an enemy and deal 7 damage to it. Starting hands, we get 5 with Bruce Banner, so a movable object, suborbital leap, and a helicarrier, combat training, and a counterattack. I'm going to keep these just in case I can get lucky with my next card draws. Hulk Smash, Martial Prowess, and the Power of Aggression. That changes a lot. And then over here we get 6 cards. So Enhanced Awareness for Justice, Counterintelligence, Protective Ward, a Beat Cop, and Magical Enhancements. All very nice, but definitely not what we need for him. So we'll try harder. Energy, Magic Blast, Target Acquired, Endurance, and Master the Mystic Arts, and Followed. So now what we need to get him going. So Bruce is going to use his ability to draw and discard a card. So we're getting that. And sadly, discarding our Hulk Smash. Just not going to work right now. So we'll flip over. Give herself the immovable object. We get 4 hit points and retaliate 1. So up to 22. And we'll give ourselves some combat training. So we've got a base attack of 4. And we'll go ahead and take care of this Goblin Thrall. Then for Strange, we're going to flip over, exhaust to use Crimson Bands, spending 2 energy. So stun an enemy and deal 7 damage to it. Place this card in the invocation deck discard pile. So stunned and 7 down to 25. Next card up is the 7 Rings, which puts tough on several people. Then I'm just going to put some cards out for us. So we're going to play Endurance to give us plus 3 health so we can feel a bit more hulkish. So up to 13. Then I think I'm going to play Master of the Mystic Arts. So as a hero action, pay the printed cost of the top card of the invocation deck. resolve its special ability, then place it back on top of the invocation deck. So pay with that. Use Magic Blast to give up to 3 characters each a tough status, and then that goes back on top. And end your turn. 4 cards over here. Uppercut, another Hulk Smash, Dropkick, and Unstoppable Force. We'll definitely be using it this time, unless something bad happens. And then we'll get 5 cards over here. All right. Followed, Magical Enhancements, Mockingbird, Protective Ward, and Power of Justice. Really need our cape. So we're going to go from 4 to 6. Goblin goes to attack. Lose stunned. Thrall hits. We lose tough. Then Goblin attacks over here. For base 2, he heals 2 damage. 27. And we lose tough. So we didn't take damage, so no threat on any schemes. Counter cards. The villain attacks you. I spoke too soon. So base 2, he heals 2 more. So up to 29. We take 2. Retaliate for 1. And then this goes up to 7. Then we get a Goblin Soldier over here. Scheme of 1, attack of 1, 5 health, and when defeated, deal 1 damage to the engaged player. And Strange is now first. Making people tough is fun. So we'll exhaust, spend 1 to put our tough counters back on. Next card up is Images. Confuse a villain or remove 4 threat from a scheme. We are going to bring in Mockingbird for 3. After she enters play, stun an enemy. And then we'll thwart for 1. And then Hulk will declare his attack on this Thrall. And then we're going to Hulk Smash with all physical resources to give him plus 10 attack and overkill. So he's a base 4. We've got 14. So this breaks up 3. 11 breaks through, going down to 17. Now it's going to be our turn. Drawing 5. Nick Fury. Sorcerer Supreme, Under Surveillance, Helicarrier, and the card we really need to make Strange work, his Cloak. Then 4 cards over here, Tigra, Relentless Assault, Boundless Rage, and Banner's Laboratory. So we get 2 threat. Goblin goes to attack, he loses stunned. Soldier attacks, we lose toughness. Goblin attacks here for base 2, 3, and we lose toughness. So in counter cards, Goblin Nation. Each Goblin enemy gets plus 1 attack, including Green Goblin. It comes in with 4 threat on it. And I'm throwing my tokens. And on Hulk, Wicked Ambitions. Discard X cards from the counter deck, where X is equal to double the villain stage number, so that's going to be 2 cards. Each time a Goblin minion is discarded this way, choose to either take 3 damage or put that minion into play engaged with you. So the first one, we'll take it. And the second one, nothing. And Hulk becomes first player. Hulk is going to do a Relentless Assault on his guard here. We're paying with a physical resource. Deal 5 damage to minion. If you paid for this using a physical resource, the attack gains overkill. So this soaks up 3. 2 breaks through, down to 15. And then Hulk will hit him for another 4. Down to 11. Then for Doctor Strange, we're going to bring in his Cloak. Gain the aerial trait, exhaust that to ready Doctor Strange. Then we will use his ability, paying Nick as the resource, to use images to confuse the villain and remove 4 threat from a scheme. So Goblin Nation is taken care of. Then we will ready. And we've got the wings here. And we'll go ahead and use that. That lets us draw 3 cards. So Lockjaw, Master of the Mystic Arts, and Mystical Studies. And then we've got Vapors, which allows us to choose a status card in play to replace that status card with a different one. Then we'll go ahead and Fort for 1. Put in the Sorcerer Supreme for 2. Play only if we have the Mystic trait, which we do. We'll get +1 hand size while in hero form. And then I think I'm going to flip over, use my ability to discard this, shuffle our invocation deck to see what else we can get here. It's hard to shuffle 5 cards sometimes. So we end up with the 7 rings. Now we'll end your turn. So Hulk is discarding Banner's Laboratory, drawing 4. So we've got Battle Fury, Dropkick, Valkyrie, and Energy. We're going to keep Master of the Mystic Arts, drawing 5 more. All right, there's an Eye, Avengers Mansion, Enhanced Awareness, and another Beat Cop. Add 2 threats, so we're 9 out of 14. Goblin's going to attack here. Mockingbird will jump in the way. So it's base 2. 2 damage coming in. Then scheming over here, we lose Confused. He'll scheme for 1, so go up to 10. And counter cards. The villain schemes. So 1, 2, 3. So 13 out of 14. And we get a Goblin Thrall. We are going to bring out the Eye of Agamotto. Flip over. Use our ability for the 7 rings, paying with the Eye to give 3 characters a tough status, or up to 3. And we get the win. So we are going to ready, play Master of the Mystic Arts with Beat Cop to pay the printed cost of the top card, which is 0, and put it back on top. So we'll get 3 cards here. Quinn Carrier for Justice and for Justice. Then we'll exhaust to use it. To get Agent Coulson, Astral Projection, and Genius. The next card up is the Crimson Bands. Well, I think we're going to do for Justice using our Genius so we can remove 4 threat from a scheme. So from 13 down to 9. Then I want to put a Beat Cop in. So we can exhaust the Beat Cop to move 1 threat from a scheme to here. And as a different action, exhaust and discard Beat Cop to deal 1 damage to minion for each threat here. So we'll bring him in and take 1. And we'll just keep this for Justice in hand for next turn, hopefully. That will, we'll let Hulk do something. Hulk will go ahead and hit Goblin for 4, taking him down to 7. Then we'll bring Valkyrie in using some energy resources. After she enters play, deal 2 damage to minion, 3 if we use an energy resource. She'll take care of the Goblin Thrall. And then swing for 2 on this one. That ends her turn. So ending her turn, Hulk discards. We're going to keep this, and we now have a hand size of 6, so drawing 5 more. So we've got Wong, Enhanced Awareness, a Magic Blast, or Sanctum, and Jessica Jones. And 4 cards over here, Uppercut, Suborbital Leap, Target Acquired, and some downtime. So we'll go from 8 to 10. Goblin attacks over here. Base 2, 3 damage coming in. We lose Tough. Soldier hits us for 1. Goblin attacks here. This card gets +1 boost icon if there's at least 1 goblin here. So coming in for 3. We're Tough. Retaliate. Down to 6. And counter cards. Get another Goblin Soldier. And the Monster. When revealed, you're stunned. If you're already stunned, take 2 damage. Hulk becomes first player. Hulk did not like being stunned, so he'll attack to get rid of it. Then Uppercut the monster that stunned him for 5. And Valkyrie will swing in to take care of the monster. Beat Cop will take 1 threat off the main scheme, so down to 9. We're going to bring Wong in for 3. He's got a thwart of 1, attack at 2. As an action, exhaust him. Choose to either heal 1 damage from your identity or discard the top card of the invocation deck. He's going to choose to heal, taking us up to 13. Then we're going to do for Justice, using the eye to help pay for it. So we've got a mental resource to remove 4 threat from a scheme. Then we will thwart for 2. Taking it down to 3. Ready, and thwart for another 2. Taking it down to 1. And that will end her turn. 4 cards over here. So we've got Uppercut, Unstoppable Force, Power of Aggression, and Strength. And we'll get 6 cards over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, which goes through our deck. So Endurance, Daredevil, Quake, Strength, Astral Projection, and the Power of Justice. So we're going to get an encounter card and do some shuffling. So we've got the first version of Goblin down to 6. We've kept his scheme in check, even though we almost completed it earlier. Hulk is at 20 health and Strange at 13. So Hulk can do some damage. Strange is dealing with everything else. So we get another 2 threat. Goblin's going to go attack over here. Valkyrie will defend. So base 2, 3, 4, and we shuffle him back in. And then we're getting an attack on Strange. And he's just going to let that happen, because we're not losing Wong just yet. So it's a base 2. It gets a soldier in play. So 2 damage coming in, down to 11. Adds a threat up here. Then we get hit for 3 more, down to 8. Counter cards. For the Hulk, it's being overrun. When defeated in player order, each player must discard 2 cards from the encounter deck and put each goblin minion they discarded this way into play engaged with them. It's got 2 acceleration tokens and comes in with 1 threat per player. And then for Doctor Strange, it's got another friend. And, Shadows of the Past. And we don't have the card to deal with that. So Shadows of the Past says Strange gets another friend. So we've got the Baron here. Scheme of 2, attack of 2, 5 health. When he attacks you, discard the top card of your deck. If that card's printed resource has one of those icons, something bad's going to happen or something worse is going to happen. Then we open the Dark Dimension. When revealed, place the top card of the Invocation deck face down under the scheme. And when defeated, shuffle the Invocation card under here into the Invocation deck. And that's going to come out with 6 threat on it. I think we can move some things down here. So the Crimson Bands goes away, and we have Vapors. And then we're going to get 2 counter spells and Thought Casting shuffled into the encounter stack. So just things were going a little bit too smoothly here. The Baron's going to change that for us. Doctor gets to go first. And the first thing that's going to happen is Wong is going to say, let's get a different spell on top. Images of the Unknown. That's a good one. So Strange is going to exhaust to use the images, using the eye to pay for it. Confuse the villain. Remove 4 threat from a scheme. So this goes from 6 to 2. And then we'll shuffle what we have here and see what pops back up. And it's images again. We will ready. So Doctor Strange will thwart for 2. Take care of the Dark Dimension, which shuffles this Crimson Bands back in, so we get another shuffle. And this time on top, we get the Crimson Bands. Then we're going to bring Daredevil in play. After he thwarts, we deal 1 damage to an enemy. So he's got thwart of 2, attack of 2. So he's coming in to thwart for 2 to get rid of Overrun. And in player order, each player must discard 2 cards from the counter deck and put each goblin minion they discarded this way engaged with them. So first for Doctor Strange, 2 cards, no minions. Hulk, 2 cards, no minions. And he gets to deal a damage to somebody. It's going to be this Goblin Soldier, taking him up to 3. Then the Beat Cop is going to take 1 threat. Then we're going to bring Quake in with the Power of Justice. And she's got a thwart of 1, attack of 2. After a minion schemes against Quake, or after a minion schemes, exhaust Quake, deal 2 damage to that minion. But she's going to come in and swing for 2 to take out the Goblin Soldier, which will deal 1 damage to the engaged player. Down to 7. And that's still a lot of minions. So Strange is going to flip over. Then the Hulk is going to try to deal with some of this nastiness. So he will swing for 4 to take care of this Goblin Thrall. Then he's an unstoppable force. Ready Hulk. If you paid for this card using only physical resources, draw 1 card. So we've got a Relentless Assault. And we're just going to do an uppercut to the Baron. It's a hero action, deal 5 damage to an enemy. There's our resources, and the Baron gets knocked out. Then Hulk will swing for 4, to take Goblin down to 2. And that will end her turn. So we're drawing 6 cards over here. Followed, Sanctum, another Beat Cop, Genius, Power of Justice, and a Helicarrier. And for the Hulk, Limitless Strength, Brawn, Thunderclap, and Limitless Strength. Okay, that works. So we're going to go up to 5 over here. Goblin's going to scheme, lose confused. Each of these guys scheme for 1 each, so up to 7. Goblin attacks. We're going to defend with Quake. So 2, 3, 4 damage. And counter cards. Cut off guard. Discard an upgrade or support you control. No cards were discarded this way. This card gains surge. So many options. And none of them good. I mean, I'm at 7 health. If I lose this, I'm going to lose 3 and go down to 4. Definitely not pitching that. Don't want to pitch those. And the beat cop has been really helpful. Oh, looks like endurance. We're going down to 4 health. And then over here, Wicked Ambitions. Discard X card from the counter deck, where X is equal to double the villain's stage number, which is 2. Each time we see a goblin minion, we've got choices to make. So, no. Oops. All right. We're going to take 3 damage instead of letting him come and play. See how that works. Choose to either take 3 damage or put that minion into play. Yeah, so he gets discarded and we take 3 damage. And Hulk is first player. So he's going to start by clapping. Limitless strength. Choose up to 3 different enemies. Deal 3 damage to each of them. So 3, 3, and 3 is enough to take him down. The first version. Next version, scheme of 2, attack of 2. Still the same force response after Goblin attacks and damages you as our main person. Place 1 threat on the scheme. When revealed, deal 2 encounter cards to each player. And he's going to come in with 36 health. So 2 and 2. Then we'll bring Brawn into play. After he attacks, remove a threat from a scheme. Hulk is going to overkill one of these goblin soldiers, which will do a damage to Steven, taking him down to 3. Brawn will put a damage on Goblin and take that down to 6. Daredevil will then go and 2 damage on this one, which takes Steven down to 2. So needless to say, he's doing some healing, going up to 5 health. Daredevil does have 2 damage on him. Wong is going to exhaust to heal us 1 more. We'll go ahead and flip over and ready. Actually, not just yet. We are going to bring in the Sanctum as an alter ego action. We can exhaust it to shuffle a spell into the discard pile and draw a card. So Astral Projection gets shuffled in, and we'll see what comes back out here. We find Under Surveillance. Now we will flip and ready. Beat Cop is going to take 1 off of here. We are going to bring in another Beat Cop to take 1. So this goes down to 4. Then Strange is going to use his Crimson Bands, paying 2 resources, stun an enemy and deal 7 damage to it. So stunned and down to 28. And the next card up is the Vapors. I guess I could have used that earlier, but I'm all right with how this ended up, I think. So 4 cards over here: Dropkick, Thunderclap, Mockingbird, and Combat Training. And 6 cards over here. Got some Mystical Studies, Enhanced Awareness, Astral Projection for Justice, and a Quinn Carrier. they're going up to 6 threat. Goblin attacks, loses a stunned. Goblin attacks, Daredevil jumps in the way. So 2, 3, 4. And counter cards. So we've got 3 each. First one for Hulk. Goblin gets his glider back. So attached to the enemy with the highest printed hit points. If you cannot, this card gains Surge. We can spend 2 energy resources to discard it, and it gives him +1 attack. Next, we get a Goblin Thrall and Hysteria. This is probably the worst attachment. Attach to Green Goblin. When he schemes or attacks, give him 1 additional boost card for that activation. So hero action, spend 2 mental resources to discard this card. That's going to be my first job. Then Intimidation. Choose to either spend 2 resources of any type or give the villain 1 face down boost. We'll give him a face down boost card. Or do we want to? We don't have any allies to throw out. Yeah, I guess we do have an ally who should have a damage on him. Yep, I'm good with that. Death from Above. All right, there we go. Green Goblin attacks with +X attack, where X is equal to the villain's stage number. So he's a base. He's on stage 2. Brawn defends. So it gets 1 boost because of normal, 1 boost because of Hysteria, and this one. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 damage coming in. And thank goodness for no overkill. Brawn, we thank you for your service. And then we have Intimidation. Choose to either spend 2 resources of any type or give him a face down boost card. Here's a boost card. All right, now to recover. Doctor Strange. The Beat Cop takes this down to 5 and up to 5 himself. And then this Beat Cop takes this down to 4. Wong says we can do something better than vapors. And we get images of Icon. Strange says that works. So we'll use Exhaust, pay with that, confuse the villain, remove 4 threat from a scheme, and see what else pops up. Wins. We will ready and use this to draw 3 cards. So Enhance Awareness, Astral Projection, and Target Acquired. Next up is the 7 Rings. We are going to put a Quinn Carrier in play. So play only if your identity has the Avenger trait. We do at this moment. It's a resource, exhaust that to generate a wild resource. Then we'll bring in Target Acquired with the Quinn Carrier. After boost card is turned face up, discard this to cancel that card's boost ability. Then I think we're going to flip over. Use the Sanctum to shuffle a spell back into our deck. Shuffle and then draw a card. See what we can get here. And we're drawing into a For Justice. Let me look through my discard pile. Let me take a better look at my discard pile. So then we'll do Mystical Studies. Alter Ego action, search your deck and discard pile for a Doctor Strange card, add it to your hand, and then shuffle your deck. Let's go see what we can find in here. Maybe a Magic Blast. Maybe a Master of the Mystic Arts. Yeah, I think we'll go for a Master of the Mystic Arts. And shuffle. We'll just prep up for our next turn. And after doing all that, I forgot what I needed to do as a hero action. And Hulk's certainly not going to do it. Oops. So in that case, we're going to bring in Mockingbird. And after she enters play, stun an enemy. Then we'll have Hulk take care of the Thrall. Mockingbird, put 1 damage here. And that will end her turn. We will discard 2 cards here, drawing 5 more. So we've got 2 Master of the Mystic Arts, Magic Blast, Avengers Mansion, Magical Enhancements ×2. And for the Hulk, 1, 2, 3, 4. Relentless Assault, Battle Fury, Crushing Blow, and Downtime. So when Hulk starts getting ready to go through his deck, we've been playing too long. So 2 threat on the scheme. Goblin goes to scheme over here, loses confused. Attack over here, loses stunned. So counterspell, attached to your hero. A forced interrupt, when you play an event, cancel its effects and discard it. Then discard this card. And Goblin Reinforcements. When revealed, place 1 additional threat here for each Goblin minion in play. So that's a hazard icon, which gets us 1 additional encounter card. And it's just going to come in with 2 threat on it. Hulk becomes first player. So Hulk will swing for 4. Down to 23. Then we're going to do a Crushing Blow. You can only spend physical resources to pay this card. Hero action, deal damage to an enemy equal to your attack. Down to 19. Then we'll put in Battle Fury. Play under any player's control, max 1 per player. Response, after your hero attacks and defeats a minion, deal 1 damage to your hero. Discard Battle Fury and ready your hero. Then Strange is going to heal for 3. We'll use Wong to, well, no, we'll wait a second on that. We'll go ahead and flip over and ready. This Beat Cop sees the reinforcements. Goes up to 3. Oops. This Beat Cop sees reinforcements. Takes it up to 6. Before I forget, we're going to, as a hero action, spend 2 mental resources to discard Hysteria. Then we're going to play Master of the Mystic Arts, paying with this, and then it gets interrupted. When you play an event, cancel its effects and discard it. And I'm honestly not sure if we've got to pay the printed cost first or after. So just a caution on air, we'll pay another one to say I had to pay the cost. Not 100% sure on that one. Then Strange is going to exhaust. We'll pay 1 for the 7 rings to give up to 3 characters a tough status, which will be Hulk, Doctor Strange, and Mockingbird. Actually, yep. Then shuffle. Next card up is going to be the Images. And Wong will go ahead and heal us for 1, taking us up to 10. We will end our turn. keep this in her hand, drawing one card over here, getting an encounter card. So lots of things triggering. So we're going to get a acceleration token up here. Shuffle our encounter stack, and then we're going to have to shuffle our Hulk's stack. He still needs to draw 3 more cards. So we've got 19 health on the second version of Green Goblin. He's on his glider. We're keeping the scheme at bay for the moment. Hulk is at 17 health and tough, and Strange is at 10 health and tough, which is a big improvement since he was down to, what, 2 or 3? So he's going to get Laboratory, Limitless Strength, Relentless Assault, and a Crushing Blow. And 5 cards over here. Another Beat Cop, Mockingbird, Magic Blast, Agent Coulson, and Lockjaw. 3 Beat Cop sounds fun. All right, we're getting 3 threat this time, so up to 5. Goblin's going to attack here with the boost and his extra boost. So base 3, 4, 7 damage coming in. We are tough. Attack over here for base 3, 4. We are tough. Deal out some encounter cards. Get a Goblin Soldier. Intimidation. We're going to give the villain a face down boost card. And over here, the villain attacks you. All right, Mockingbird defends. A base 3. 4 damage coming at us, and for that, we're going to play Target Acquired. After boost card is turned face up, discard it, cancel that card's boost ability. So the Thrall does not make it into play. Strange gets to go. He is going to use the images, using the Quinn Carrier to pay for it, to confuse the villain, and remove 4 threat from a scheme. Actually, before that, we'll have the Beat Cop take 1, taking it down to 4. And this Beat Cop will take 1, taking it down to 3. Then we will use images to remove all those and confuse the bad guy. Next card up is the Vapors. And Wong is going to go, we'll pass on that. Then we get the Crimson Bands. We will ready. Exhaust, spending 2 to stun an enemy and deal 7 damage to it. Down to 12. Next card up is the 7 Rings. She did lose her toughness earlier. And having toughness is always good. So Master of the Mystic Arts, we're going to pay 1 for that. Paying Mockingbird for that to give up to 3 characters a tough status. I think once again I forgot my Retaliate. We will have Hulk swing for 4 on this guy. Then we will do a Relentless Assault as a hero action, deal 5 damage to a minion. If you paid for this card using a physical resource, we get Overkill. So soaks up 1, 4 breaks through, taking him down to 8. When he's defeated, deal 1 damage to the engaged player, so we lose toughness. Also, after your hero attacks and defeats a minion, deal 1 damage to your hero and discard Battle Fury to ready your hero. So that was a hero action. So we'll take 1 damage, ready, and swing for 4, taking Goblin down to 4. Then I think we'll flip over for once. Use our ability to draw a card and discard. We found Brawn, and we'll discard Brawn. And we'll go ahead and discard our Laboratory and keep Crushing Blow, so drawing 4 cards. So Dropkick, Uppercut, Unstoppable Force, and Power of Aggression. And over here, we'll keep the Beat Cop, drawing 5 more. Counterintelligence, Protective Ward, that'd have been helpful way earlier. Energy, Enhanced Awareness, and Jessica Jones. So 3 threat. Attack over here, lose stunned. Scheme over here, lose confused. Counter cards. We'll get a counter spell. So when you play an event, cancel its effect and discard it. And over here, I see you. Green Goblin attacks you. If you are in alter ego form, do not give the villain a boost card for this activation. All right, so he's hitting us for 3. Down to 13. That adds a threat. And Hulk becomes first player. We will flip over and drop kick Green Goblin. Hero action, deal 4 damage to an enemy. If you paid for this card using only physical resources, which we will with the wild, stun that enemy and draw a card. But the 4 is all it's going to take. So the Hulk, with a friend like Strange, on standard mode, really seems to work well to cover in all the gaps. And for deck construction, Hulk. I don't think I changed anything in the deck from the last one, but with Doctor Strange, I should have. I do have more than 40 cards in here, so definitely don't need 2 combat trainings or 2 battle furies, because if we've got Doctor Strange attacking, things are going really wrong. 3 drop kicks, 3 relentless assaults, 3 uppercuts, martial prowess, counterattack, then allies, Brawn, Tigra, and Valkyrie. And for basic cards, our 3 resources, Helicarrier, Downtime ×2, Target Acquired, and Mockingbird. Then for Strange, 7 rings, keeping people tough. This means Hulk can stay out forever. For Justice, we got 2 of those. Power of Justice, 3 Beat Cops, 3 for Justice, 2 Followeds, Counterintelligence, Under Surveillance, then Allies, Jessica Jones, Agent Coulson, Daredevil, and Quake. And then our basic cards are 3 resources. Sorcerer Supreme, which if you're playing someone with a mystic ability, you just put this in there. Helicarrier, Quinn Carrier, Avengers Mansion, 3 Enhanced Awareness, 2 Endurance, Target Acquired, Mockingbird, Lockjaw, and Nick Fury, because he is all about just having options. And that's my deck construction for the Hulk and Doctor Strange. As always, I hope you enjoyed this playthrough, so please click on the like button below and be sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching.